see your licence, driver?
Come on, mate, I've been up since 3.
Have we been drinking this morning, Mr. Finesse?
Just a beer?
Good on you. Right, sir, I'd like you to undertake a preliminary breath test.
I've got a choice.
Out of the vehicle, please, sir. Right, I'd like you to blow into this with one long, continuous breath until I tell you to stop. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going, that'll do you. Right, sir, I'm afraid this indicates that you may be over the prescribed limit. I want you to accompany us back to the police station where you will undergo proper breath analysis.
Look, mate, I'm nearly home. Give me a break.
Have you received any medical or dental treatment in the last week, sir?
No. Hang on. I know who it is. It's just stuff I'm taking.
Right, sir, we'll soon find out, won't we? After you.
G'day, Maggie.
Oh, g'day.
Detective Hasham around?
Yeah, he is, but he's busy at the moment. Can I do anything?
I don't mind waiting.
Well, I could leave a message for you.
It's kind of personal.
Well, how about you leave a note?
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. They're giving me a couple of days off, so I thought I'd come to town to rage. Just a bit of a bash at the pub, you know. I thought I'd ask Detective Hasham.
Well, I'll let him know for you.
Oh, it'd be good if you could come too.
Oh, okay.
Hey, the blokes on the station gave me a new rope. Reckon I could use it to rope Detective Hasham?
Oh, that'd be an interesting thought.
Yeah. Okay, I'll see ya.
Bye-bye.
Why me? Why me?
You know, that's what I would have said, PJ, but I guess when you're working cattle 7 days a week, anything on 2 legs would look good.
Maggie, you know, when you've got it, you got it. But there are times I wish I hadn't.
I'll be nice, PJ. She's got a crush on you.
Hey, can I help it if I mirror
Through this way, Mr. Finesse. Straight through, sir.
Nick. Wayne handling things okay?
Yeah, he's getting on with it.
Best to keep busy at a time like this.
Hey. Hey.
Well, you've got to roll with the punches.
Yeah. Give him a bit of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your second reading's clear, sir.
Listen, can I call my wife now?
No, suit yourself, mate. You can go home soon.
Use my phone.
Just worries if I don't get back by 10.
Can't have that, can we? Drink driving, second test.
You know who he is?
It's Joe.
He's a market gardener. He's only just over.
Really?
No. I'll be home soon. I just got to go and pick up the truck. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry, love.
Well, Mr. Birch, long time no see.
Name's not Birch, it's Finesse.
Your name is Birch. Joe Birch, bastard.
You can go home now, Mr. Finesse. Now, what was that medication again?
It's just some Linctus.
What do you take it for?
Bronchitis.
Right, well, if you're taking this stuff, you don't want to be having any alcohol, OK?
How do I get back to my truck?
You can take a taxi, sir. You'll find one outside the cinema.
Listen, Hasham, I was innocent, mate, and I was proven innocent, all right?
Mate, what's the story between you?
Where's his truck?
Wilson's Crossing.
So why didn't you bring it in? Give it a good going over, Nick.
Get stuffed. I don't tell you how to do your job.
Hasham, I am trying to make a fresh start. Why don't you just leave me alone?
Finesse. That you know, is it? People only change their names when they've got something to hide. And we know what that is, don't we, Birch?
I've been married for 3 years. I run a good business. I've had no trouble from you lot, and I don't want to be harassed again.
Slime bag like you doesn't change, Birch.
Yeah, well, it takes one to know one.
Inspector Faulkner's got some business out this way. He wants to have a bit of a talk to you about your future, so hang around the station, will you?
Future?
Well, for a start, a watch housekeeper should be married.
I am married.
Yeah, but with Ros gone...
Oh, she'll be back, boss. I'll give her a month at the outside.
I thought she was hoping to get into university.
You know, Ros, new idea every week.
Have you spoken to her since she left?
Once or twice, yeah. She just needs a bit of space to figure things out, that's all.
You got a minute, boss?
Just
It's important.
I've got some reports to do anyway.
Right, do you know an Emma Furness?
Furness. Market garden about halfway to St David's. I haven't seen much of Emma for the last few years, not since her husband died.
Well, she married a Joe Birch 3 years ago.
Is that a problem?
He changed his name by deed poll. 2 years before that, he was arrested for rape in Melbourne, boss.
He obviously didn't spend much time
He
inside.
didn't spend any time inside, boss. He got off.
But you think he was guilty?
I know he was guilty.
What's this got to do with here and now?
I don't think a mongrel like that would change, that's all.
We haven't got any unsolved rapes in our area.
No, but St David's does, and Birch lives halfway between us and them.
It's a pretty big leap, PJ.
You don't know Birch.
No. But if you're going to get a head of steam up about this, then you better go carefully. It's not our patch, and Emma Furness has got a lot of respect in this area. I don't want you doing anything that'll create a backlash.
Sure. G'day, mate. It's PJ. Didn't happen to interview a deadhead by the name of Birch? No, wait a minute. You might have him under his new name, Furness. Yeah, Joe Furness. Do me a favour, will you? Pull out the file again.
Wayne, why don't you come down the pub with us? She haven't been in ages.
I can only ring Ros between 7 and 9, a
Oh,
parents.
bugger her parents. Ring her when you like. Look, it's Trish Lowe's birthday.
Who?
The farmhand from the Kilbourne property. She doesn't have any family, she doesn't know anyone in town. The only reason she knows us is because PJ helped her out of a scrape once.
I don't feel like it, Max.
Listen, she's got the hugest crush on PJ. It could be rather fun to watch him squirm.
Nothing to do, Constable Doyle.
And, yes, Inspector Faulkner, I do.
Patterson? Come in, Constable. Take a seat. Just an informal chat, that's all. We're all very sorry to hear about your wife walking out on you, Wayne, isn't it?
Yes, sir, and she didn't walk out on me, sir. It was a mutually agreed separation.
Yes, well, it's a bit hard on the wives. It takes a certain woman to be able to cope.
Ros coped better than most, sir.
Yes, of course. Well, be that as it may, we have to sort out this watch housekeeper business.
I'm not looking upon the separation as permanent, Inspector.
We're left with two possibilities, Wayne. Once the position's filled, you can transfer to general duties here at Mount Thomas, or I could see about a transfer to Melbourne so you could be closer to your wife.
How long do I have to make that decision?
Well, take all the time you need. Sergeant Croydon can get back to me. In the meantime, we'll advertise in the Police Gazette for a watchhouse keeper. You can, of course, live on the premises until we find a replacement. You understand that this has nothing to do with your marital status, don't you, Constable?
Of course, sir. Will that be all?
Yes, I think it about covers it, Sergeant.
Not very much to the point, sir.
He's not a very appreciative sort of cove, is he?
Oh, it's a bit soon for him to be making career decisions, Ted. I don't want to pressure him.
Of course, if his performance hasn't been up to scratch, well, perhaps now would be the time to think about a transfer.
Oh, he's a good young cop. No, he's still a bit raw and he's going through a rough patch, but if Wayne wants to stay at Mount Thomas, I'm more than happy to keep him.
Wayne, you look like a man who needs to go to the pub, and tonight is the night.
I'm still the watchhouse keeper. I've still got to take the phones.
No, mate, look, I've been thinking about this. It's time we all rostered ourselves on night duty. I mean, PJ and I can take it in turns, and even the boss can chip in.
And what about me?
You? Oh, no. Female on night call, no.
That's discrimination, Nick.
Yeah, but it is sound reasoning.
Guys, I got a little job for you.
They're hardly convincing descriptions from the victims. The rapist's about the same height and weight as Birch, but that's it. I just hope PJ knows what he's doing.
This bloke gets under his skin.
Yeah, well, a lot of people get under my skin too, but I don't go around trying to match them with unsolved cases, do I?
What's the problem?
There's been a few burglaries in the district.
What, around here?
Yeah, we were wondering if you've had any trouble.
No. In fact, you're the first visitors we've had this week. And you're just in time for a cuppa. Would you like one?
Love one.
What about you, darling? Come here.
Do you mind if I just take a look around?
Right. Hasham sent you, didn't he?
No, sir. We're checking all the farms in the area.
How long have you and Mr. Finesse lived here?
Oh, I've been here for 25 years. You see, Joe's my second husband.
How did you meet?
Well, after Alf died, I thought I might have to sell this place. I couldn't manage all this on my own. And Joe showed up looking for work. Well, we fell in love. Well, I must admit I was a bit worried at first. See how we could manage here, but he's fine.
So you didn't know Joe before he started working here?
No, he's from Melbourne.
It's a big change for him.
Oh, he never really liked the city.
I can understand that. To take your name, he must really love you. Thank you.
Well, he had his reasons. You see, Furness is a well-established name in this area. And he said that Birch reminded him of unpleasant things.
Really?
Yeah, well, his father used to drink and take it out on Joe, and his mother left when he was a baby. Poor darling. Not a great start in life, is it?
You know, I often think that people that come from that sort of background generally end up with problems themselves.
Oh, not Joe. Oh, no. You'll never find a more considerate and gentle man.
Patterson, where are Patterson and Doyle?
Oh, I sent them out to the Furness place.
Why?
Because I wanted them to check out Birch, boss.
You can't just drag my people off without telling me. You want to use Patterson and Doyle, you let me know. Better still, ask me. I want to know what they're doing. I don't want to read about it in the papers.
I thought it was a better tactic, that's
Those
all.
rapes us and David's, PJ. You've got enough to do without chasing ghosts that don't haunt us. Welcome home. I've just been hearing why Mount Thomas is running on a skeleton staff of one detective and one should-be senior sergeant of police. Next time Detective Hasham decides to order you around, I would thank you to check with me first. All right, what did you find out?
He had a good look around. Nothing. He did seem a bit toey, though, like he wanted us to see everything.
Doyle?
Well, Mrs. Finesse said his mother ran off and left him with an abusive father. Apart from that, she doesn't seem to know much about his past.
Both his parents are alive and well. They're teetotalers and they go to church every week of the year.
She was very convincing.
He probably doesn't know, Mags. He's a hell of a liar.
PJ, sometimes you just have to wear a court's decision.
Not this one, I won't.
What's eating him? Looks like I'm on night duty. Chris, can I have minerals, please?
I'll have a beer, Chris, and a bourbon for Wayne.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming, everyone. I was beginning to think you'd forgotten. G'day, Detective Hasham.
G'day, Trish. How are you?
Happy birthday again, Trish.
Happy birthday, Trish.
Yeah, happy birthday, Trish.
Blokes at work were giving me a do, but I thought it'd be much more fun to be with my real friends.
Do you want your drinks here or in the dining room?
No, I won't be staying, Chrissy.
Oh, Trish has bought a quarter of a side of beef.
I'm giving the party, come on.
Come on, Detective Hasham. Come on, Detective Hasham. Come on.
All right.
Having to go out and beat yourself, right? Hang out, push it, or what? Been planning today for weeks. That was nice of you, Trish, and you. Got a leg of lamb too for you, Detective Hasham.
Lovely.
Hey, Birch. How come I haven't seen you in here before?
Just having a change of scene, Hasham. Listen, don't send any more of your mates out to my place, all right?
That a threat, is it?
I'm clean, mate. Get off my back.
Ever been in before?
No, Emma hasn't been in for years either. They must do their drinking in at St David's.
What's she like?
Hard-working, that's about all I know about her.
She'll buy for us.
Most of us do, Paige.
You go slide and float.
Apart from his little tickle with the breathalyzer today, your friend Birch hasn't got a single black mark against his name.
He's a rapist.
He wasn't convicted.
He was guilty.
You're letting your personal feelings get the better of you on this, PJ. Your cousin couldn't positively identify him. I had to find out why you're becoming so obsessed with this bloke.
Look, you didn't see his face when he walked, boss. I did, and so did my cousin. We both knew.
I'm sorry, but I can't let you turn this into a private vendetta.
Look, he is responsible for those rapes in St. David's.
Have you got any proof of that? Obsessions like this can destroy a career, PJ. Be warned.
Hello, and so say all of us, too. No, two's a crowd.
Everybody's gone home.
Which is exactly where you should be. Now, come on, one of us is tired if you're not.
Hey, Trish, are you staying here the night?
No, I'm going to sleep in the wagon.
All right, I'll walk you to it then.
He's the one that needs seeing home.
You reckon?
It won't be my home for long.
Oh, come on.
Inspector Faulkner has his way.
Inspector Faulkner's got his way.
Inspector Faulkner has his way.
Mount Thomas Police.
Maggie, it's Chris. Listen, Trish Lowe's here. She's been raped.
Chris, call an ambulance. I'll be right there. Take a seat through here, thanks. She spent the night in hospital. They examined her. It was a violent rape.
Did she give a description?
Not yet.
Chris, see you hear anything?
Trish rang her about 2. She had nowhere else to go.
Trish, we're going to have to ask you a lot of intimate questions, okay? But you've got nothing to be ashamed of. You don't have to convince us you've been raped. I believe you. Trish, would you be more comfortable talking to Maggie? Okay? Okay. Don't stuff this up, Maggie.
Forensics going through a car now.
Check the area, see if anyone saw or heard anything.
No one's going to have seen or heard anything. She parked in one of the most isolated areas in town.
Just do it, Wayne.
Now, in your own time, tell me what happened. And if you need to stop, just tell me. You were asleep in your four-wheel drive.
I thought I'd lock the doors.
He could have forced the locks.
I didn't hear anything.
You'd had a few drinks at the Imperial Hotel.
Yeah. But I wasn't pissed. He had his hand over my mouth. And a knife. He had a knife.
Did you try to fight him?
No. I'm pretty strong too, you know. But it was a knife.
Trish, when did he hit you?
When he was raping me. He didn't need to hit me. I was too scared to do anything.
Did he say anything?
He had such a husky voice. I didn't know what he was saying. Just kept calling me names. Awful names. Why did he want to hurt me so much?
PJ? She didn't see his face. She said he was wearing a balaclava, a boiler suit, and gloves.
Would you be able to recognise him?
She's still really upset.
Well, there's one way to find out.
Have we got enough to go on?
Enough for me. Come on, Nick. Let's pick him up. Butch? You're gone, mate. She can identify you.
Who can identify me? What are you talking about?
Joe! What are you doing to him?
We're just taking him in for questioning, Mrs. Finesse.
Questioning? Well, what's he supposed to have done?
It's all right, love. It's a mistake.
Can you tell us where your husband was between 9 last night after he left the Imperial and 2 a.m. this morning?
Well, yes, he was with me. Joe, what's going on?
I'll be back before you know it, love.
Would you like me to call the Kilbournes?
No.
They'll only worry if you don't turn up for work.
I can't go back there.
Trish, it's not your fault.
Then why do I feel so ashamed?
Listen, I know you probably won't take all of this in right now. But rape isn't only a matter of violating your body. It tears away at your self-respect and your feelings of worth. Now, you have to understand that. And then you'll be able to deal with this a little better. You build up what's been taken from you. You're a changed person. But that new you has to be so much stronger than the old you.
I was just feeling so good after my party. It's the best night I've ever had.
Sit down. Anything?
No witnesses, nothing from forensic either.
Mm-hmm. You finished?
We've got as much as we're going to get, yeah.
Okay, just can go.
Sure.
Hey, Furness, who's been rigging the prices at the markets?
What?
Cauliflowers. Yeah, there's a racket, isn't there?
You dragged me in here to ask me about cauliflowers? I get it.
Was she supposed to identify me for something? Is that it? Well, no wonder she couldn't bloody identify me, because I didn't do whatever it is that you're trying to hang on me, and you know
Constable Patterson, will you make sure that Mr. Finesse gets home safely? Thank you, Mr. Finesse. Sorry for any inconvenience.
it. Yeah, I shall bloody well hope so. I'll tell you what, I see any more of you blokes around my place, and I am calling a lawyer.
You did it, boss. You did it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be so long.
Oh, that's okay. Trish, Mrs. Kilbourne's driving into town.
You told her.
It was her suggestion she come.
But it's a 4-hour drive.
She can stay with you when I'm not here. She sounds like a really nice lady.
Yeah. The place has been the only home I knew since Gran died.
When was that?
About a year ago. Didn't know what to do. Been looking after Gran since I was 14. There's not many jobs for people like me.
Well, Mrs. Kilbourne says you have a job there as long as you want.
There are blokes on the property. Except Mrs. K and me. They always made me feel like one of the blokes too. Can I have another shower? Can't seem to get warm. Or clean.
Pete? Tom, come on through. Thanks.
What's PJ Supervisor doing here?
I don't know, mate, but he hasn't come here to pin any medals on him, that's for sure.
Detective Sergeant Grantham.
PJ, Sergeant Croydon's been filling me in on this Furness business.
I'll leave you to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry you were called.
Too right, you should be sorry. I don't like bloody uniforms bothering me about my detective here. So what's your story about Furness? Apparently he's got a watertight alibi.
What alibi? Well, his wife?
Yeah.
Look, the St David's women were raped around 8 in the morning. He could have attacked them on the way back from the market.
Yeah, Trish Lowe was raped just after midnight. Different M.O.
So what if he changed it deliberately? Listen, Birch knows the scene. He could rape the women and still be back to his wife by 10.
All right, what about Trish Lowe?
Well, Birch was in the pub that night.
Yeah, with his wife. So you're telling me that he took her home, then came back to town, followed Trish, and hung about to rape her without his wife
He knows
knowing?
I'm onto him, all right? Now, he knows I know he did it. Trish Lowe was raped to get it.
Oh, what do you mean?
You know the story.
There is ways and means of doing things, PJ. Right now, you're doing it all wrong. Stay right away
Now,
from
is
him.
this coming from you or Croydon?
It's coming from me. I mean it. Stay away.
How are you?
Fine.
You got a minute?
Sure. Trish is sleeping.
How is she?
I spoke to the Rape Crisis Centre in Melbourne. They're going to call her tomorrow. Can I get you anything?
No, okay. Need your help, Mags.
I'm listening.
Need you to meet a detective, Sean Neal, tomorrow. He worked on the rapes in St David's. He's going back to speak to the victims. See if anything ties in with Trish's rape.
Why me?
You interviewed Trish. You know all the details.
The boss knows about this, of course.
I'll fill him in first thing.
You're a bloody liar, PJ. What's really going on?
I've been told to keep my nose out of this, Maggie.
PJ, the boss has already
Look,
balled
do you
me
want
out
more
of
women
this.
to end up like Trish, huh? Bashed and raped,
Will you
is that
keep
it?
your voice down? Now, I want the slug who raped her just as much as anybody, so don't try that with me, all right?
Well, I'm sorry I asked.
Look, you want to fill me in on the details so I know what I'm looking for? Nice doggy. Nice boy. Nice teeth.
Constable Doyle.
Detective Constable Neal.
Sean.
Maggie.
Good Irish name.
Ditto. I hope you've got away with dogs.
Well, if I haven't, I'll hold his attention while you make a dash for the door. Stay close. Any sudden moves and he'll rip your arm off. Down, boy. Stay. Stay. Good boy. Down. Down. Stay, boy. Stay.
Magnum's grown a lot since you last saw him.
Yeah, he's a good guard dog.
Magnum. Sean organised Magnum for me after I was attacked. That poor girl. Was it the same man?
That's what we're trying to find out, Mrs. Turner. We're very sorry to have to put you through this again.
I go over it every single day of my life, Constable Doyle. He was wearing a boiler suit, a balaclava, and gloves. And he had a knife. The kind they used to skin rabbits.
You said he had a husky voice.
Yes.
Did it seem natural?
How do you mean?
He could have been trying to disguise his voice. Make it sound husky.
I suppose so. But he smelt like cough mixture, so I just assumed he had a sore throat.
Cough mixture?
Something like that. It smelled like a chemist shop.
Mrs. Turner, did you tell St. David's police this?
I can't remember. There were so many questions.
Pauline Turner from St David's, the second rape victim.
Yeah, well, Maggie's giving them a hand. See if anything ties in with...
Whose idea
Lowe's
was
rape.
that, PJ? Theirs?
Well, not exactly, but I spoke to Detective Neal, and he said it was a good
Save it
idea
for Grantham.
Looks like we're back in the match, Tom.
3 rapes. They all say he wore a balaclava, a boiler suit and carried a skinning knife. 2 of them mentioned a husky voice, 2 of them said he smelled of cough medicine. Now, we know Birch carries cough medicine, and the St David's women lived on the road used by him to go to market.
And we know he was at the pub the same night as Trish Lowe. We also know that he had a previous history of rape, if not a conviction.
I think Detective Hasham's methods have paid off. PJ?
We go after the wife. She's his alibi.
OK, go for it.
PJ, that rape in Melbourne, if we could check with the victim about the cough
Forget
medicine
it, Maggie.
smell. But it could all tie in.
She's in an institution, all
The
right?
chief said I could stick around if that's OK with you.
Absolutely, you're very welcome.
Right.
Peter, see you, mate.
Tom said.
This has to do with the break-ins at the markets, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit more serious than that, Mrs. Furness.
What's it got to do with Joe?
Does your husband have a boiler suit?
No.
What about a balaclava?
No.
But he does take cough medicine.
Oh, yes, so do I when I need it.
Well, you have a bronchial infection?
Yes. But getting up on these cold mornings is enough to give anyone a
Absolutely.
bronchial.
He takes it frequently?
Yes, I suppose. But he's a very healthy man.
And Mrs. Furness, we believe your husband might be implicated in several cases of rape.
Look, I know what you're trying to do, and it won't work. You see, he's told me all about the persecution and the harassment. He even told me that you were the one who tried to set him up. But he was innocent. I believe him, and as you well know, so did the courts.
So he told you what happened in Melbourne?
Yes.
Before or after you were married?
After.
Recently?
Yes, recently.
So we decided to tell you after we started our investigation. Well, that's a bit of an afterthought, wouldn't you say? Oh, by the way, dear, I forgot to tell you. When I was down in Melbourne, I got charged with rape.
Don't be disgusting.
Mrs. Furness, did it change how you feel about him?
No.
He lied to you.
He wanted to forget. Look, he was innocent. I believe him, and so did the judge.
Right. This is a photograph of Trish Lowe after she was bashed and raped. Now, you look at that. Now, she turned 20 the same day. We were celebrating the Imperial. She never had much of a go in life. Not a nasty bone in the body. You remember her, Mrs. Furness, because you were there. You were there, and so was your husband.
Yes, but I know where he was. Now, how could he do that if he was with me?
Well, that's what we were hoping you could tell us.
James Tunbridge, Mrs. Furness's solicitor.
Your husband called me, Mrs. Furness. The interview is over. You'll be hearing from us.
Mrs. Kilbourne's taken her back to the property.
That's pretty isolating, isn't it? Doesn't she need some help, some counselling?
Well, she said she'd take her back down to Melbourne next week.
Yeah? He's still a decent one.
They never liked me, you know.
Who doesn't like it?
Ross's parents, they never bloody liked me. Always wanted to marry a doctor or a lawyer or something.
Yeah, well, they all do, mate.
Probably poisoning her against me right now.
PJ, we re-interviewed the buyers at the market. One of them remembers a day when Birch sold off his load in a hurry. It was the cough medicine that jogged his memory. He remembers Birch swigging on it. Said he was sick, had to get home early.
And the day?
Tallies for Mrs. Turner's rape.
Enough for a search warrant?
Well, we can only try.
Go.
Bloody magistrates, after everything we laid out, it's not enough. I mean, what's he want, a confession?
Emma Furness is here. She wants to talk.
I don't want any of this recorded, and if you insist, then I won't say anything.
If you have anything that might help us solve these rapes, Mrs. Furness, I advise you do.
If you find any proof that says my husband is responsible for these dreadful things, then you won't need what I have to say.
Agreed.
Joe doesn't get home till 10. Naturally, he doesn't know that I'm here.
Everything will be fine, Mrs. Furness.
photograph of that girl, I couldn't get her out of my mind. I asked Joe why he didn't tell me sooner about his trouble in Melbourne, and he said that his past had nothing to do with our future. He was so hurt because he thought I didn't trust him, but I do trust him.
Then why are you here now, Mrs. Finesse?
It's for my own peace of mind. I remember that girl, Trish. And it got me thinking about that night. You see, Joe wanted to have dinner at Mount Thomas.
And you normally go to St David's, right?
Well, yes, it's closer. He said he wanted a change of scene.
Go on.
Well, we had a few drinks. That's something I don't normally do.
But Joe wanted you to?
Look, we went home early because we're up early. And Joe insisted on making me a cup of tea.
Was that unusual? I said, was that unusual?
No. And we went to bed about 9:30. And I don't remember anything until the next morning. And I slept in, which is something I never do. Now, Joe said I must have had too much to drink. Passed out. But I know I didn't.
Why do you think he put something in your tea? Make you sleep?
No, I don't believe he did. I can't. I could have lived with a man for 3 years and not known. Could I? How could he be one thing to me? And something so awful to the others.
Mrs. Finesse, do we have your permission to search the property?
There are the keys to his shed. I never go in there. And I don't really want to know what's in there. Please.
We'll only have about 15 minutes to search the place before he gets back, so anyone you can spare will be a big help. No, Mrs. Finesse wants to wait here.
Drink the stuff.
Look what we got. Right, hide the cars. He must have the knife on him. You got too cocky, Birch. You might have gotten away with my cousin, but not Trish. That was for me, wasn't it? That was to stick it right up me.
It's a balaclava. So what? You can see 100 of them down at the markets on a cold day. Birch. Oh, I'm a farmer, for Christ's sake. I mean, what do you expect me to wear? A bloody dinner suit? Where's my wife? What have you been telling her?
It's what she's been telling us, Birch.
Hey, get out of my bloody truck! Have you got a search warrant?
Your wife gave us permission.
BJ. It was under the seat.
I got you, you bastard. I got you.
Thank you. I can look after myself.
Let's hope she can. Boss. I've decided to stay in Mount Thomas on general duties.
It isn't the end of the week yet, Patterson.
Yeah, I know that, but I think I have to face up to it. I don't think things would work out if I transferred back to Melbourne.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks.